So good afternoon, everybody, and thank y'all for coming to our week 4 class meeting. We are gonna go ahead and get started. It's right at 4 o'clock. I have a real short presentation. We are finishing up chapter 16 right now, so that's what we're gonna focus on today. I know there's a couple of y'all that have already done the exam for today, your chapter 16 test. Um, and that's fine. That's fine. There wasn't a whole lot lecture wise for chapter 16, so we're going to focus on some CPT coding for that chapter today. Um, let's see, go ahead and share my screen. So again, we're going to focus on chapter 16 today. We're about halfway through with module 154. So, and this is our longest module, y'all. And I know y'all, it's been getting a little repetitive, but we are getting there. We're getting through it. All right, so ICD-10. For those of y'all that want ICD-10 coding practice, we are doing that. That's what we're focusing on Wednesdays right now, which is kind of why I focus today. We're going to focus on the CPT portion of chapter 16 because we've been doing ICD-10 in Wednesdays, and we're going to continue that. If you come to the Wednesday meeting, please bring your ICD-10 manual so you can follow along. We don't have any new information regarding that at this time. So I'll let y'all know when I hear something about that. And just a friendly reminder, I do manually grade your exams, so y'all don't have to text me or leave a comment that it got it wrong. I'm gonna catch where it marked you wrong and you got it correct. All right, so let's jump right into some practical practice for chapter 16. And guys, I take all the practice stuff that we do, I generally take directly from the chapter exercises. So if y'all are caught up on your labs, you may sorry, um, you may recognize some of these questions if you're all caught up on your labs. Sorry, I had a little person come and pop her head in at me while I was talking. All right, so the first one we're going to look at endoscopic maxillary antrostomy. Oh, the medical terminology. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, so where do you guys, this is CPT coding, right? So we're focusing on procedures, what is done to the patient, for the patient, on the patient, etc. All right, so endoscopic maxillary antrostomy. And a lot of those words I'm not even familiar with. Endoscopic maxillary, I have heard before. I'm guessing our procedure is the antrostomy. And the reason I'm guessing that, y'all, is because it ends with O-M-Y. It ends with ostomy. So that kind of clues me in that it's a procedure. So that's where I would start in the alphabetic index, antrostomy. Trostomy, excuse me. All right, an endoscopic maxillary antrostomy. All right, maxillary is going to be dealing with the nose. In chapter 16, we're dealing with the respiratory system. So that is going to include the nose, bronchial tubes, all that, lungs, all that good, fun stuff. So once you locate antrostomy in the alphabetic index, you're going to start going down and you're going to look for, I'm going to guess it's going to be sinuses. Because all your maxillary stuff's up in your sinuses. So antrostomy, then sinus. And let's see where that brings us. And it may indent down some more and get down to maxillary, is what I'm guessing. I don't have it right in front of me.
Yeah, and whenever you're looking up trastomy, then it shows maxillary, and it shows the different codes.
Awesome. Awesome. Where's it taking us?
I was going back to 207. I'm still getting to the code I was looking at.
Okay. Let's see. I'm in my meeting. Y'all, excuse me for one quick second. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so what did you get to, Asia?
The first code was 31256, but whenever I turned to the page, I see it. Yes, on 209. 31256 says nasal/sinus endoscopy, surgical with maxillary antrostomy.
Perfect. Perfect. And I don't see anything around that that's going to match it any better. So that's, pretty cut and dry. 31256. I would like for y'all to notice below that code, it says do not report 31256 in conjunction with, and it lists off some other codes when performed on the episterial side. That's not anything that applies to what we're working with right now, but it is something to notice that sometimes they do have, if you're coding more than one procedure, there'll be a note that says don't code this with this. So it's just always good to kind of look under your definition and around it and see if there are any additional instructions that you need to follow. Okay. Excellent job. 31256. All right. Let's go on to number 2. Direct laryngoscopy for removal of a fishbone. Okay. So removal of a fishbone, direct laryngoscopy. So that would be a foreign body removal. And for those of y'all that were not with us yesterday for the Wednesday coding practice, we talked about what a foreign body is. And that is basically anything that does not belong in your body that's stuck there. Whether it be stabbed in, you ingested it, you put it somewhere, whatever the case may be, if there's something in your body that doesn't belong there, they call it, it's considered a foreign body because it doesn't belong. It is foreign to your person. All right, so let's see, direct laryngoscopy. All right. The ooh. I can't talk today.
Laryngoscopy.
Laryngoscopy, thank you. Laryngoscopy. I could not get it out today. All right, so that's going to be our procedure. That's where we're going to start. And probably under that, it's going to indent down and you'll have like removal of a foreign body or something like that.
So I found laryngoscopy, and it has direct, but I don't see removal under direct. I see removal under flexible.
Let me take a look. See.
And I see removal under insertion.
Direct removal. Let's see what it says. direct. All right, aspiration, biopsy, diagnostic, dilation, exploration, newborn.
Whenever I went down to the removal part, 31530, the description says laryngoscopy direct operative with foreign body removal.
Awesome. Where did it bring us? It should bring us to that. Okay, I'm guessing. You see how, like you said, it doesn't have removal directly under, or it doesn't have removal under direct, but it has exploration, and it gives you a code range 31520 to 31526 and then 31575. So they're saying that the correct code is the 31530, the one you came up with. But what I'm trying to figure out now that I'm looking at it is where in the alphabetic index did it lead them to that? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, where would you have needed?
Like if we were needing to show how we got to
Right.
it would kind of be confusing.
Right, because it's not under direct in the alphabetic index. It's under flexible. So, something to watch, y'all. It's not always as clear cut as we would like it to be. But yeah, the correct answer is the 31530. And in a case like this, when I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, I would probably just start at the beginning of the laryngoscopy section and just start going through and see what fit. Okay. And it's not that big of a section once you get over into it. It's like a page or two or something like that. So you would just go through and see what fits. And like Asia said, if you look at 31530, laryngoscopy, direct, operative with foreign body removal. Simple enough once you get there. But getting there on that one might have been a little bit difficult or confusing. But good job. All right, so let's look at number 3. After the airway is sufficiently anesthetized, I cannot talk today. A flexible bronchoscope is inserted through the mouth and advanced to the bronchus, where a transbronchial biopsy of one lobe is obtained. They're just asking for one CPT code. So I'm thinking that there's a fair amount of information in here that's not particularly relevant to our one CPT code. But okay, so the airway is anesthetized, bronchoscope inserted through the mouth, bronchus, transbronchial biopsy. I'm thinking that's where we go. Bronchoscopy. Flexible bronchoscope, which tells me bronchoscopy. The ones that ends with OPY. So that is where I would start in the alphabetic index, bronchoscopy. All right. Is that continued? No. Okay. So not a big section at all. Finding it on page 1056 if you're in the 22 manual. Yeah.
And then 1071 in the 23 one.
Thank you. Perfect. All right. So if you look under bronchoscopy, it's not a very big section. So let's see. We're looking for flexible bronchoscope, Transbronchial biopsy. Ablation, relief, airway. And I'm seeing biopsy. Needle biopsy. So I would go with biopsy. I don't really see anything that fits. They don't specify transbronchial at this point in the alphabetic index, so I would just go with biopsy. And that brings us to but they actually list like 4 different codes in a range, starting with 31625. So that's what I would do. I'd go to 31625 and start there and see what we have. So 3, and we're just gonna be a couple of pages over from where we were with the last example. 31625. This is all right. So if you look at 31625, it's actually in the endoscopy section. Bronchoscopy is right next to it. Starting with, it says 31622 to 31661. All right. All right, so in this case, you would just start going through the codes and see what it is. All right.
Is it 31628?
It is. Very good. 31628 with transbronchial lung biopsy, single lobe. And then they have some notes and stuff if you're doing an additional lobe or taking additional biopsies out of the same lobe or different lobe or whatnot. But yes, 31628. Yeah, once you get to it, it's not hard to nail down. It's just a matter of sometimes getting to where you need to be. Okay, so you'll notice that all of the examples that, I'm sorry, there's a train going by my house right now. What is meeting for interruptions today?
Because I'm over here tripping trying to turn my background fix off.
It is, I live like 2 blocks from the train tracks, but we're like in the city. So when they come through, they lay on the horn the whole way through. And it's, I understand they have to, it's safety, but gall. And it's really fun when one comes through at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's great. But anywho, okay, so what I was saying was, y'all notice that all of the answers that we have come up with are all starting with a 3, right? They're all coming out of the respiratory section, out of the same chapter, right? So when we're doing our exam, if we're coming up with CPT codes that are not in the respiratory chapter, it's probably wrong. It's probably not our correct answer. So just something to watch for and kind of narrow things down a bit. If you get to the wrong place, that's an easy way to recognize you're in the wrong place, is if it's outside of the respiratory system. Okay. But you see how this one's really, really short and you got 1 CPT code, and this one's really, really long, but you still only got 1 CPT code. Sometimes there's just a lot more information for you to sift through, okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be any more complicated than one of the smaller ones. All right, so number 4, diagnostic thoracoscopy of the mediastinal space is accomplished with the use of a flexible endoscope that is inserted through a small incision on the chest. No biopsy was performed. So a diagnostic thoracoscopy via endoscope. Okay, so I'm gonna go thoracoscopy. Again, the OPY kind of gives it away, right? So let's see where that takes us. And I know, guys, that the terminology sometimes is just really, really intimidating, I guess, and it'll make you think it's harder than what it really is, you know. All right, so we have thoracoscopy, and there's a you got to watch your spellings on some of these procedures, because if you look, there's a thoracoplasty, thorac thoracoscopy, thoracostomy, thoracotomy. There's a whole bunch of different ones that are really spelled very similarly. So we're looking for thoracoscopy, medial distal space, flexible endoscope. Okay, so diagnostic, with biopsy, without biopsy. All right, so no biopsy was performed, so this is not going to be surgical. This is going to be diagnostic. They went in, they looked around with the endoscope. It was inserted through a small incision, but no biopsy was performed, which means they didn't do any cutting, so it's not surgical. They were just looking around. And plus it says diagnostic, because, duh. All right, so diagnostic with or without biopsy, it says no biopsy. So it brings us to 32601. All right, is that gonna be, are we gonna run with that one, y'all think? 32601. I think so. I think 3261 is as good as we're gonna get. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 codes in that section. And ours says thoracoscopy, diagnostic, lungs, pericardial sac, mediastinal or pleural space without biopsy. So that's us right there. 32601. Any questions on how we got there? Nope. Nope. But you'll also see that along with the terminology, you don't have to exactly know what every single procedure you code, what it exactly is. What exactly is done in that procedure. That's not, you don't really need to know that, because we're not performing the procedure, so that's not really important for us. But we do need to know how to find it in this book, or how to find it in the software. But thankfully the doctors and the nurses and the notes and all that tell us what everything is. We just got to find the code that coordinates with what it is. Okay. All right, so last one. Segmental resection of the right single lung lobe using a flexible endoscope, surgical thoracoscopy. All right, so I'm remembering from the one that we just did, we looked up thoracoscopy, same thing, except this one is not diagnostic, it's surgical, and it lets us know that. So, Let's see what's under that surgical section. Way back there. All right, so thoracoscopy, surgical, and then it gives us a bunch of widths. So segmental resection.
Would it be with lobectomy?
No,
No.
I don't think so. Like down towards the bottom, it says resection. So let's see.
No, but that's with therapeutic wedge resection.
No, it's, oh, wait. You're right. Yep. With therapeutic wedge resection. Good catch. Let's see. I think you were right about the lobectomy. Because I'm not seeing anything else that fits. So I think you were actually correct on that. 32663. Let's see what that says.
I got 32500.
32500. Where are we getting that one from?
I'm Googling. I have my book.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Let's see. The width lobectomy comes to 32663. We'll look at the what was it, 32500? Also, we'll look at both of them and
Yes.
see what it says. All right, thoracoscopy, the 32 was like lobectomy, single lobe. Surgical. Resection. Resection. All right.
It looks like we start with 32650 and then, use that first part before the semicolon. And then it would be 32663 with lobectomy, single lobe.
I think that is correct. Let's go ahead and look at that 32500 or 5. Let's see, except I'm not seeing that. Let's see, 501, 550. Excuse me. I'm not seeing the 32500, but the 32663 fits. That is going to be our correct answer. No, we're not seeing a 32500. But that's outside of the thoracoscopy section anyway. So that would tell us that it would not be in the right section. The thoracoscopy surgical section starts with the 32609. So 32663 is the correct code on that one with lobectomy. Good job and good catch. And look, I tried to tell you, no, I don't think that's right, but it was. So good job. All right. Any questions or concerns about CPT coding? We got about 4, 5, maybe 6 more weeks of it, y'all. I want to say the chapter 17 exam is going to be next Thursday. So that'll line up nicely. So, next week we'll do chapter 17 review or practical practice, something like that, for next week's meeting. But y'all are doing really, really great. I'm still catching up on exam grades and working on progress reports. I think if I'm done with half of the alphabet, maybe a little less than half the alphabet as far as progress reports. But y'all be getting them in the next 24 to 48 hours or so if you haven't gotten them already. If you have gotten them, please sign them and return them. We get fussed at if you guys do not return your paperwork. So please return your paperwork. Any other? Oh, a whole bunch of people hopped on. Let me write y'all down before we leave out for the day. All right, how is everybody doing navigating the My Unitech site? Everybody's good? Any questions about any of that? Where to find anything?
I tried to restart mine because it wouldn't let me submit and it still wouldn't. So I haven't commented the answers yet, but I didn't know if you wanted me to do that on the recent one, like the everyday ones, because I didn't know if everybody could see that or not.
Nobody can see your assignments but me and you.
Okay.
So yeah, anytime y'all having issues uploading, like if it's doing an error where it keeps kicking you back to the home page, or it shows you a big yellow screen with red script writing on it, go ahead and clear your browsing history and clear your cookies and
Okay.
restart everything. And usually that helps.
Okay, I'll try it again.
Yeah, just try starting fresh and clearing out all your histories and stuff. And usually that helps. If that doesn't help, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And sometimes y'all, our site just gets glitchy and maybe goes down for 12 hours or something like that. So maybe just try it again the next day. Leave the answer in the comment, try it again the next day. If it doesn't let you do it for like 3 days or more, it still keeps throwing you back every time you're trying to do something, then get with me, because at that point we need to contact IT support and get them to look and see what's going on.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
unfortunately, it just gets glitchy. It just really does. Another tip on using our site, you know how you have your little back browser button, the little arrow up at the top in the corner? Don't use that button on our site. Like if you click into assignment and you want to go back, click the course assignments page again instead of clicking that back button, because for some reason that back button will make it glitch every single time. It just
Okay.
like that button. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Trees, and that's just a little trick we have picked up over the years. Trees and with Avery. All right, fantastic. I think I got everybody. Any other questions or concerns while we're here, guys?
No, ma'am.
Hi, Dumpling. We have a dumpling. I love that hair. So beautiful. All right, guys. Well, if y'all don't have anything else for me, check the chat. I see you, Samaj, putting the answers in the chat. Good job. Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a lovely evening and a nice weekend. And as always, thank you for your time and coming and giving it to me. I really, really appreciate y'all. And I hope y'all got out of today's lecture. So y'all have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good